Article 9, which reads, "It shall be the duty of the legislature of Idaho to establish and maintain a general, uniform, and thorough system of public, free, common schools."
And in order to provide, then, thorough, uniform, free public schools, it requires the legislature to fund schools at a level where these fees are not necessary to be collected to cover necessary expenses to operate a classroom.
This father of 7 tends to agree.
So we've paid our fees, but not without rolling our eyes, not without wonderment of why those fees exist.
Kevin's not sure a lawsuit will solve school funding, but he does want a say in how schools spend money.
Certainly we as parents didn't have a chance to voice our opinion of that or to review budgets or the legitimacy of raising those fees and where those fees were going to be spent. A fee is in a way, probably in a big way, a taxation without representation.
CUNA schools change that, at least for now. If Russell Jokey wins his case, handing over cash to public schools will be a lesson for the history books. And Roland, when it comes to school fees, there's no state standard. Every district has a different policy. In Boise, for example, the high schools there can charge different amounts for the same thing across town. In fact, look at this. Timberline High School even has developed pages of barcodes to use for all their different school fees.
That complicated. So, what about the lawsuit? Does it hold any merit?
I'm not a legal expert. Russell Jokey certainly thinks it holds merit. But something interesting did happen today in Texas. After a long court battle, the state there, the Lone Star State, is saying that a judge said that it's not living up to its constitution. The state of Texas not living up to its constitution to provide enough and equal funding for all schools. It's not the first state to decide that. We'll see what happens.
An important story for every parent in this state.
We'll keep on top of it.
All right, nice job. Well, today a judge gave the Nampa schools permission to ask for a loan. The judge gave the go-ahead after a 10-minute hearing. The board says the money is critical to pay staff members and other bills this spring. This loan is not tied to a supplemental levy the board approved last month. That goes before voters this spring. The district needs this money in case voters strike the levy down.
This was one of those things identified by our budget committee and our board that would be necessary, the ability to borrow, so we could pay our bills and our employees this year. And then as we look forward to finalizing our plan, being able to borrow in future years.
Westfall characterizes the judge's ruling today as an important first step on the school district's road to financial recovery.
A bill to create a state-run health insurance exchange will be debated tomorrow, and there's an open invitation for anyone who wants to weigh in. Although Governor Butch Otter has endorsed the creation of an exchange, questions remain about whether it has the support to pass both the House and Senate. Some legislators say they'll wait to make up their minds on the issue until after they hear directly from the governor.
I think we need to have some more outreach, though. I think that the governor needs to personally get involved instead of sending circuits. He needs to put the press and flesh and make sure that we understand from his standpoint why we need to do this.
Proponents of the bill say the state-run exchange is the best option for the state, even though many of them still disapprove of President Obama's Affordable Care Act. If you want to join in on the discussion, that meeting begins at the State House tomorrow at 1:30.
A company in Turkey is trying to steal Idaho's good name, so legislators in the Gem State are coming up with ways to keep the company from trademarking the name Idaho and using it to sell its products. The Idaho Potato Commission is behind the resolution. It already passed the state Senate and is now working its way through the House. Lawmakers say it's important to keep the Idaho label specific to products made in Idaho.
There's actually an organization internationally that also opposes this kind of behavior because labels, if you're going to use the name, it should be tell you where where the stuff was raised and or produced. And a lot of the European nations are involved in that as well.
Some behind the resolution say they may try to take the fight to the federal level as well to help Gem State farmers and brand equity of Idaho products. All right, did you see this last night? Not just the bad call at the end of the game.
Thank you very much.
One Super Bowl ad struck a chord across the nation and with many folks right here in the Treasure Valley.
Yeah, it featured the American farmer, and Idaho's agricultural community definitely appreciated the recognition. Mike Vogel has the story.
And on the 8th day,
his voice draws you in.
God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
A Paul Harvey speech that got a lot of attention.
People don't have much to say about farmers anymore.
A 2-minute-long commercial by Dodge Ram and the future farmers of America.
When I was watching the commercial, a great sense of pride came over me.
As a third-generation Canyon County farmer, Sid Freeman says the commercial was emotional and captivating.
It talked about the duties, the tasks that farmers have before them every day. Before daylight through dawn.
People may debate about their favorite ads, but here in Idaho, there's no doubt.
Nobody appreciates what you do, and if something goes wrong and times get really tough for you, why, it's not a big deal because there's somebody to take your place.
In addition to paying tribute to the farmer, the moving ad ponders the future of this American industry.
Everybody in this business talks about how the younger generation isn't going to be here to do this anymore.
It is very emotional. You know, what we do for the rest of our society, it portrayed the importance of the role that agriculture plays in the development of our society.
Mike Vogel, Fox 9 on your side.
And did you hear before he died, actually, Paul Harvey talked about that speech?
Yeah, pretty interesting. He didn't write it. It was actually an anonymous letter, but Harvey admits that he did add to it.
It was a good spot.
Yeah, it was.
So Congressman Raul Labrador's office blames a racy tweet during the Super Bowl on a staff error. Labrador's office apologized for the incident, saying spokesman Phil Hardy accidentally tweeted, "Me likey broke girls," after a Super Bowl commercial advertising a television show. That one. The tweet was deleted after 14 seconds, but of course not before national websites got a hold of it. And then Hardy posted the same tweet on his personal account.
Tennis fans are about to receive an overhead smash of excitement from the sport they love. Davis Cup is coming to Boise, including the #1 player in the world. Reporter Eric Fink talked with some tennis players tonight to get their reaction. He's live in studio with our story.
You know, Roland, this is big. For the first time, the City of Trees will host a prestigious Davis Cup match. Boise will welcome some of the world's best, including reigning Australian Open champ and world #1, Novak Djokovic. The United States takes on Serbia, Djokovic's home country, April 5th through the 7th. Boise State's men's coach, Greg Patton, calls bringing the Davis Cup to the Valley the biggest tennis-related event to happen not only in Boise, but throughout the entire state. Local players tonight at the Boise Racket and Swim Club couldn't be more stoked.
It's amazing. I mean, we're already on the map because our blue field and the Boise State, but I think this is going to put us on a global spectrum to have the Davis Cup here. We're just so ecstatic as a tennis community, but it goes beyond that for Boise.
We have the 3rd highest concentration of tennis players in the United States. So while our population does not match that of other cities, we have a high density of tennis people. So there's going to be tremendous support, and I would not be surprised if we don't fill Taco Bell Arena.
Taco Bell, April 5th through the 7th. McGrath says the Davis Cup is the tennis equivalent of soccer's World Cup, and he expects between 5,000 and 8,000 fans to pack Taco Bell Arena each of the 3 days. Now, in addition to Novak Djokovic, fans will also see the American Bryan brothers, the top doubles team in the world. Ticket prices are set by the USTA, and they could range from $100 to $500 for a weekend pass, and they go on sale to the general public at the end of the month. Live tonight, Eric Fink, Fox 9 on your side.
Now the On Your Side forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval.
No big changes coming in over the past several days. The low clouds have kind of settled back into the valley. In some places, we're getting some sunshine, but it's just not happening. Boise and points westward. Mountain Home's been seeing some breaks today. In Boise, only 34 degrees for the high temperature. 41 is the average, so you can see we're still below average now. The cold air settled back into the valley. Milder air aloft. It's been warmer in Stanley and McCall. But notice your sunrise and sunset. Our sunrise is finally before 8 o'clock, and our sunset is finally touched 6 o'clock. So the days are getting longer. that means the days that the inversion will be around are getting shorter. In other words, when you get more sunshine, it's difficult to keep an inversion around, but it's going to stick around for a little while at the beginning of this month, that's for sure. These are the low temperatures around the region. It did drop to 8 in Stanley this morning, 29 in Boise, so temperatures barely below freezing. We get those icy spots, but in the afternoon, you see the mid-30s. However, Twin Falls been breaking into plenty of sunshine each day, 48 degrees for the high in Twin, while it was 35 in Mountain Home. I think Mountain Home, you're going to hit temperatures in the 40s, and eventually it'll start to warm up here in the Treasure Valley at some point. But right now, ho-hum, no changes. We're right at or below freezing. No precipitation really showing up on radar forecast for tomorrow. 35 degrees in Boise, hazy, patchy fog, some clouds around as well. And you can see the question showing up on the screen here. Why freezing rain instead of snow? When it's cold enough to snow, why isn't it just snowing? So a couple of Weather Whiz Kids kind of asking that question. We're going to put both those questions and get the answers coming up in a little bit.
Good. Okay. I want to know.
All right.
Thanks, Scott. Coming up next on Fox 9 On Your Side tonight, a 5-year-old boy back home with his family tonight after FBI agents raid the underground bunker that he'd been held in for almost a week.
And still ahead from the blackout scene around the world to Beyonce's show-stopping halftime performance, we're going to take a look back at all of last night's super moments.
Roland Ferris, Michelle Edmonds, Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval. Sports with Paul Gerke. This is Fox 9 On Your Side at 9.
Weather is brought to you by Steve's Hometown Toyota. Try Steve's Hometown Toyota in Ontario. Today 6 and Fox 9 are on your side.
Something really just didn't sit right with me, so I figured I would call on your side.
Telling your stories.
My neighbor, they saw the story, and they came over and said, if you ever need help, let us know. I mean, they had no clue until they saw the story.
Helping make Idaho an even better place to live.
On Your Side came out and was genuinely excited for what we were doing.
On Your Side told my story.
My story. My story.
When you engage On Your Side, you get action.
Today 6, Fox 9, On Your Side.
Hey, I'm Common Sense. What you watching? Whoa, major buffering. Hello.
What happened?
It's called buffering. Your phone company's internet is too slow. You need Cable One high-speed internet. The fastest internet for the best streaming. It's just common sense.
No more suffering with buffering.
You got it. Cable One. It's just common sense.
Let's save this Thursday a 13-hour sale at Rosar's.
This Thursday, cereal is king. Rosar's 13-hour cereal sale is back. So grab a box, or 30. These great prices are good for one day only. And milk, you know we'd never leave you hanging. Western Family 2%, 1%, and skim milk are all on sale too. Just $1.99. Check out our weekly flyer or rosars.com for more details.
13-hour sale at Rosar's.
You're watching Fox 9 On Your Side at 9.
Oh, what a huge sigh of relief down south this afternoon. The 7-day hostage situation in Alabama finally over.
FBI agents stormed the suspect's underground bunker this afternoon, rescuing that 5-year-old who was held hostage. Fox News correspondent Craig Boswell has the very latest right now in America.
The hostage situation has ended after 6 full days and heading into its 7th. It all began when 65-year-old Jimmy Lee Dykes allegedly shot and killed a school bus driver and kidnapped the 5-year-old little boy.
At approximately 3:12 this afternoon, FBI agents safely recovered the child who has been held hostage for nearly a week. Within the past 24 hours, negotiations deteriorated, and Mr. Dykes was observed holding a gun. At this point, FBI agents, fearing the child was in imminent danger, entered the bunker and rescued the child. The child appears physically unharmed and is being treated at a local hospital. The subject is deceased.
Dykes reportedly demanded more children inside that school bus, but the driver, 66-year-old Charles Albert Poland Jr., tried to block him. Yesterday, hundreds of people attended Poland's funeral service, paying tribute to his sacrifice.
He was just an outstanding person and cared about kids, and ultimately gave it all to protect those kids.
Meanwhile, the little boy turns 6 years old this week. A retired police officer has been collecting birthday cards for him.
We're expecting
as of now, probably a couple thousand cards, and it could grow. They're being mailed, delivered here to the town hall in Napier Field.
No indication yet as the motive, the why this gentleman allegedly kidnapped this boy off the bus and allegedly shot this driver in Midland City, Alabama. Craig Boswell, Fox News.
So many more questions to be answered on that,
yes.
and we'll keep track of it for you. Well, in other news, dealing with Iran and some of the other more difficult members of the international community now rests on John Kerry's desk.
The former presidential challenger began work as Secretary of State today, and while today may have been his first official day on the job, Kerry says he made calls to Israel's prime minister and Palestine's president over the weekend, pushing for peace between the two sides. Today, he also took time to acknowledge his predecessor, Hillary Clinton.
After the last 8 years, can a man actually run the State Department? I have big heels to fill.
Good line. Kerry also talked about the 4 Americans killed in Benghazi in September, reiterating his belief that much of the talk about the attack has been spurred by politics. That attack will be the focus of his hearing later this week. Witnesses will include the outgoing Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Martin Dempsey.
President Obama turned up the volume on his proposed new gun control measures today during a visit to Minnesota, where hunting and gun ownership is big business. In an attempt at an end run around opponents like the NRA, the president took his message directly to the people. Fox News correspondent Mike Emanuel reports.
President Obama went to Minneapolis hoping to build support for what he believes are common sense proposals to reduce gun violence. Aides say Mr. Obama chose Minneapolis to spotlight steps it has taken.
This city came together. You launched a series of youth initiatives that have reduced the number of young people injured by guns by 40%.
Flanked by police officers in uniform, Mr. Obama asked the American people to press Congress to take action.
We don't have to agree on everything to agree it's time to do something. The vast majority of Americans, including a majority of gun owners, support requiring criminal background checks for anyone trying to buy a gun.
But the NRA says those background checks will turn into a registry of law-abiding people.
It's a fraud to call it universal. It's never going to be universal. The criminals aren't going to comply with it. They could care less.
The NRA. This Super Bowl ad from Mayors Against Illegal Guns, in part personally funded by New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, goes after the NRA for being for universal background checks before they were against them. LaPierre blames other lobbyists and the privacy rule protecting personal health information.
But I have finally become convinced, after fighting to get the mental records computerized for 20 years and watching the mental health lobby, the HIPAA laws, and the AMA oppose it, I don't think it's going to happen.
A big question has been how far Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid would be willing to go. Reid has signaled he's willing to move a bill in the Senate, but also has a pro-gun rights voting record.
I didn't vote for the assault weapons last time because it didn't make sense, but I'll take a look at it. I think that we need to take a look at federal trafficking. I think that everyone acknowledges we should do something with background checks.
After Mr. Obama told the New Republic he does skeet shooting, quote, all the time at Camp David, the White House released this photo from last August 4th. Today, Press Secretary Jay Carney said Mr. Obama has enjoyed competing with friends at Camp David.
On Tuesday, a bipartisan group of House lawmakers are planning to introduce a bill making firearms trafficking a federal crime and would impose stronger penalties for so-called straw purchasers who buy guns for convicted felons and others not allowed to buy weapons themselves. It is not clear how far the House will be willing to go on the president's proposals, if at all. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Coming up next on Fox 9, we're back over at the Weather Center. Scott's working on his complete on-your-side forecast.
And here's tonight's Pump Patrol. Head to the Fred Meyer on Federal Way to fill up for $3.19 a gallon. And to find the cheapest gas in your neighborhood, go to IdahoOnYourSide.com and click on the Features tab.
Pump Patrol, brought to you by Mountain Home Auto Ranch, where we do business a better way. Exit 95 Mountain Home.
Your best price on every vehicle at MHAutoRanch.com. Ford, Lincoln, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, and Ram truck, MHAutoRanch.com.
On the next 2.5 Men, Charlie's swinging lifestyle comes back to haunt him.
CharlieHarperSucks.com. You can buy t-shirts, and I'm going to have to move to Pennsylvania and chase Amish broads.
On 2.5 Men.
Weeknights at 10 on Fox 9.
Your vehicle has 4 wheels, doesn't it? Well, why not use all of them? That's Toyota. No brand offers more models with available all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. And during Toyota's all-wheel drive event, get our best deals of the year. Right now, try the new 2013 Tundra Double Cab. Ready for winter and just $309 a month. $309. Plus, every Toyota comes standard with Star Safety System and Toyota Care. Nothing tears through the snow like a Toyota. Get to Toyota's all-wheel drive event today. Toyota, let's go places.
With a little bit of luck, I'm moving up. With a little bit of bloomin', little bit of bloomin' luck.
The most incredible thing you'll see is the smile on their faces.
Coming to CenturyLink Arena, Tuesday, February 19th at 7. Get your tickets today at CenturyLinkArenaBoise.com.
Well, this is indecredible. Right now, you can get DQ's famous chicken strip basket for just $4.49. You heard me right. For just $4.49, you get 100% white meat chicken, golden French fries, Texas toast, and your choice of dipping sauce like delicious country gravy. All for just $4.49. That might have been the greatest thing I've ever been hired to say. The DQ chicken strip basket, so good, it's ridiculous.
Your local Ford store invites you to log on to takeatestdrive.com today. Ford, drive one.
Now the On Your Side forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval.
Well, today I got a chance to visit Cynthia Mann Elementary School in Boise. Had a great time off of Pierce Park Road there in Boise. And these are the 6th graders. Got together a couple classes, and we talked a lot about weather, covering some of the things they'd already covered. We covered a couple new topics as well. Talked about the 3 main ways to get weather, basically rain or snow to fall by getting that air to rise, 3 different ways. And we talked about air pressure, made a home barometer. The kids absolutely had so many questions. I stayed overtime, just kept answering questions, and I'm going to answer several more questions the rest of this week. 2 of them coming up in my special weather segment here in just a moment. We'll answer those on TV. You can get all of that. You can get the video you just saw there, plus the questions as I answer them all week long on my weather blog. If you go to KIVI-TV.com, we have our Idaho on Your Side website there. You can go right in there and click on the weather blog, and you'll check out all those questions. So we'll answer those questions and a couple more coming up in my special weather segment. 35 for my 3-degree guarantee for the day tomorrow. Pretty much the way it was today. I don't expect much of a change. There's a chance. I'm going to be hopeful that the clouds that have been eroding away each day from east to west, well, they've come up to the mountain home area, but we still stayed a little chilly. We'll push a little further to the west. We'll get some of that clearing, but that may not happen until the day on Wednesday. You folks in Ontario, unfortunately, may be socked in the clouds a couple more days. No precipitation up north, but up in southeast Washington, northeast Oregon, a little precipitation trying to move on in. It looks like we'll continue to see that sliding in from west to east as we move through the rest of the day. And the rest of the week, I should say, this is going to slide on through a couple storms. This will bring snow showers to the north and then to the mountains, central mountains here as we head towards the day. On Wednesday, a chance of those snow showers coming in as well. So this is tomorrow, that system going through, another one behind it. And so we'll get these little weak waves. We may get a couple flurries here in the Charger Valley in the morning, but nothing major. Big storm system here, pool of cold air will slide more to the north and west. But as the jet stream gets closer, it'll tend to help scour out that inversion out of the valley there. Southeast winds will pick up as low pressure is approaching. It draws the wind in, and that tends to clean the valley out. Thursday is when that should happen. But on Thursday, as a front comes through, we may get snow in the Churchill Valley during the day on Thursday. So it's something we'll have to watch, especially the lower western valley, because of cold air trapped in the valleys. And I'm going to talk more about that in my special weather segment as well, kind of answering the question. This mild weather will stay to the south. It's difficult to get warm, sunny skies unless you go to the higher elevations this time of year. In the Churchill Valley, we just sock in those low clouds and fog. Futurecast, I stop it tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the evening. You see a band of some light snow showers pushing through the west central mountains. So a little tonight, a little tomorrow night, maybe a flurry coming through the Churchill Valley. But as we push ahead through Wednesday, not much goes on. It's Thursday. Here's that next system coming in Thursday midday. Shows light snow falling even in the Churchill Valley, and maybe an icy wintry mix in the western lower valley. So I'm going to watch Thursday for you as we get a little bit closer. In the meantime, high pressure will retreat. That's going to, again, give us a chance to break up that inversion over the next few days, especially Thursday, as we finally get energy coming in from the west and cold colder weather still comes in behind it, although it won't be much colder in the valley. We'll probably start to see some sunshine for the weekend. Not bad. Next couple days, not the best. So a lot of cloud cover in the western valley. Mountain Home could break into partly cloudy skies with temperature hitting 41. Meridian, mostly cloudy, likely most of the day at 35. And everybody will likely see some fog in the morning. It'll tend to burn off, but we'll still get hazy in the afternoon. 20s in Long Valley, 30s McCall, Donnelly, Cascade, but in the 40s in Boise County. That's that warm layered version there. So Idaho City, a beautiful day tomorrow. We'll get sunshine mixed with those clouds. 42 in Stanley tomorrow, and it'll only be 35 in Boise. There's the inversion example for you. And in Twin Falls, I've got 43 here, but they hit 48 today. You folks in Twin may get warmer than this. Gooding stays a little cooler, and Shoshone could warm up a bit in Burley as well at 44 degrees. Here's my On Your Side extended forecast, and you see that 35 coming in for tomorrow. Well, 41 on Wednesday. We've got a good chance of breaking those clouds on Wednesday from Boise eastward. And then on Thursday, the inversion will get scoured out, but snow showers may be coming in to do it. Lingering flurries will likely end on Friday with some sun coming back out into the weekend. Get back to the nice winter weather where it's chilly, but the sun is shining on you. You know, the air just smells cleaner. Yeah, that's coming this weekend.
I'd like some extra snow for the mountains.
We'll get a little bit over the next couple days, not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. Thanks, Scott. Well, the blackout during Super Bowl 47 lasted 35 minutes.
Yeah, just ask the folks on the field, right? But it could take days, actually, to figure out what caused it. Brian Todd shed some light on the investigation.
In an instant, at least half the stadium's lights tripped out. Escalators and elevators lost power. Credit card machines didn't work. But no one inside the Superdome panicked.
I've never met so many people that are so hospitable, you know, and it's a wonderful city.
As security guys, this happened often. He said it happened once. It happens a few times before.
The CBS Sports Showtime program 60 Minutes of Sports was doing a behind-the-scenes report when the outage occurred.
All right, we lost lights. All right. We're going to a manual override.
A 34-minute delay ensued. And now the Superdome's managers, along with Entergy, the company that provides power to the facility, are investigating. According to minutes from meetings of the Louisiana Stadium and Exposition District, the group that owns and manages the Superdome, it budgeted hundreds of thousands of dollars to upgrade electric feeder lines from the grid to the Superdome late last year. CNN reviewed transcripts of those minutes. At one point, it was called an emergency project. But an official of the group that manages the Superdome told the New Orleans Times-Picayune the outage is not related to that repair work. That official, Doug Thornton, said a machine that monitors power distribution detected an abnormality, which activated breakers which shut the power off. He put that at the feet of Entergy.
The truth is the interruption in service didn't occur inside the building. We could not receive the power from the Entergy vault, the substation that supplies us with the power.
On Sunday night, Entergy first said it was feeding power to the Superdome normally. On Monday afternoon, in a statement to CNN, Entergy said it's working with SMG to investigate, and until the investigation is complete, any statements on possible causes of the outage are just speculation. Could the halftime show featuring Beyonce and some pyrotechnics have shorted out a system in the building? Thornton says no. Quote, the halftime show was running on 100% of generated power, which means it was not on our power grid at all.
More to come.
Yeah, questions continue. Coming up next on Fox 9 On Your Side tonight, though, they're as popular as ever, but they're coming with more and more warnings. We're going to show you the latest batch of bad news for energy drinks.
Oak Express has an amazing first-time ever offer. Get 2 free HD TVs with an exciting selection of dining room group packages. Hurry, 2 free HD TVs and 0% interest for 2 years ends Wednesday, February 6th. Oak Express in the Furniture Row Shopping Center.
I don't want cheap flooring.
Right.
No extra charges.
It was a kid from Lawn and Garden.
Nickeled and dimed.
I am done with home centers.
He's done. I wanted hassle-free. Guaranteed.
Durable.
Beautiful. Installed. It needs to stand up to my kids.
Lots of kids.
I got a puppy. I know just what you're looking for.
Carpet One has what you want. Quality carpeting, stone, porcelain, tile, hardwood floors, and people who know their business. Carpet One, 1507 Main Street, Boise.
Sometimes families run a little cold. Sometimes a little hot. But when you get Get together around a Papa Murphy's pizza you create, take, and bake in your oven. 425 degrees is just about perfect. Do pizza night right with our famous cowboy pizza, loaded with pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and olives for only $10. A large cowboy, just $10. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
Bedroom Expressions has an amazing first-time ever offer. Get 2 free HD TVs with an exciting selection of bedroom group packages. Hurry, 2 free HD TVs and 0% interest for 2 years ends Wednesday, February 6th. Bedroom Expressions in the Furniture Row Shopping Center.
Why do patients from across America and around the world choose Boise Image Enhancement Center as their choice for aesthetic skincare? It's our patients' comments that reveal the most.
Thank you for taking care of my mom. She was both thrilled and encouraged.
See why Boise Image has become the local clinic with a global reputation for superior skincare results.
You made her feel as beautiful as I know she is.
Boise Image Enhancement Center, smoothing out life's little imperfections.
Need brakes? We do that.
We're having the big discussion around here. They may seem harmless, but doctors say the caffeine content in energy drinks is definitely hazardous to your health.
And they have new evidence that suggests these popular beverages are even more harmful to teens who mix them with other substances. And it is our top story in Fox Fitness right now. A new report in the journal Pediatrics states top-selling energy drinks contain high and unregulated amounts of caffeine, as well as other stimulants that may enhance caffeine's effects. And this combo can cause cardiovascular problems, anxiety, and insomnia, as well as digestive problems and dehydration. The report recommends parents and pediatricians talk to kids about the dangers of energy drinks and the symptoms of caffeine overdose.
Peers play a greater role in teen girls not liking their bodies than social media or television. That's according to researchers who studied girls between the ages of 10 and 17. Researchers asked them questions about their bodies, eating habits, social media use, TV viewing habits. Overall, neither television images of thin women nor social media caused low self-esteem, but peer competition did. Pakistani militants tried to kill her because she demanded an education, but the teen continues to defy the odds.
And as CNN's Dan River reports tonight, as she recovers and gets stronger, so does her commitment to her cause.
She's come to embody hope against tyranny. Walking through Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth Hospital, it's incredible to think just 4 months ago, Malala Yousafzai was fighting for her life after being shot in the head. Now, for the first time since that attack, she's spoken on camera.
Today you can see that I'm alive. I can speak. I can see you. I can see everyone. And today I can speak, and I'm getting better day by day. It's just because of the prayers of people, because all the people, men, women, children, all of them have prayed for me. And because of these prayers, God has given me this new life. And this is the second life, this is the new life. And I want to serve the people. And I want every girl, every child to be educated.
On Saturday, doctors performed further surgery on Malala, inserting a titanium plate into her skull and this cochlear implant to restore her hearing. After the 5-hour procedure, she spoke to critical care consultant Dr. Mav Manji.
I'm feeling all right, and I'm happy that both the operations are successful. And you know, it was that kind of successful that now they have removed everything from me, and I can also walk a little bit. I can talk, and I'm feeling better. And it doesn't seem that I had a very big operation.
But while the operation was routine, here they perform about 50 to 60 cranioplasties each year, it wasn't without its risks.
It can go wrong, yeah. Any neurosurgery can go wrong. This sort of cranioplasty doesn't go wrong very often. I can't really give you a percentage, but very low risk of it going wrong. The difficulty with all neurosurgical procedures, if they go wrong, the consequences are profound. And you're talking serious disability and or death from relatively small margins for error in neurosurgery. So, yeah, it's a relief to everybody that it's over and done now.
Malala has become a global icon in the fight against Islamism. Taliban terrorists tried to silence her outspoken views that girls should be free to attend school. Even 24 hours after surgery, her resolve remained undimmed.
My mission is the same, to help people.
The female brain surgeon who operated on Malala reflecting on her patient's struggle for women's rights in Pakistan.
It does seem incredibly unjust that as a woman in Britain I can be a consultant neurosurgeon, whereas a woman in Malala's situation would struggle to achieve the same job.
It'll be about a month before doctors here switch on the cochlear implant to restore Malala's hearing. But they've been amazed not only by her recovery, but also by her attitude. One word has been used again and again to describe Malala: remarkable. Dan Rivers, CNN, Birmingham, England.
I second that. Still ahead on Fox 9 on your side. Every moment tweeted to the world. We're going to show you the final Twitter Super Bowl score.
Valley Office Systems. Now you have a choice. Make the right choice. Valley Office Systems.
IHOP National Pancake Day. It's great food for a great cause. To celebrate, IHOP will be serving a free short stack of our delicious buttermilk pancakes from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Help us support the Children's Miracle Network. Eat some great food and have fun during National Pancake Day.
What are you waiting for? Join the hundreds of people who have already taken advantage of Cash for Keys at Internet Auto Rent and Sales. At Internet, we're paying top dollar for vehicles whether they're paid for or not. Just think, no placing ads in the paper or online, and no strangers coming to your house. Just bring your vehicle into Internet and leave with cash in a half hour or less. It's Cash for Keys, and it's only at Internet Auto Rent and Sales.
This is where I learn, where I explore. It's my home, my laboratory, my community. It's where people care about me, challenge me, and are committed to helping me succeed. This is where I'm learning to lead. This is where I belong. This is my university.
Welcome to Camp Bow Wow, the Valley's premier doggy day and overnight camp, where your dog can play all day in our indoor and outdoor play yards. Certified camp counselors, spacious cabins with comfy cots, pup pools, and outdoor play equipment ensure that your pup has a great time. Plus, you can watch your dog from anywhere in the world with our high-speed camper cams. Stop in for a tour and book a reservation for your dog's free day of day camp. Visit campbowwow.com/Boise to learn more. Camp Bow Wow, where dogs are our passion. IHOP National Pancake Day. It's great food for a great cause. To celebrate, IHOP will be serving a free short stack of our delicious buttermilk pancakes from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Help us support the Children's Miracle Network. Eat some great food and have fun during National Pancake Day.
Did you hear Scott had to go back to school today?
Yeah, he likes going back to school.
He does, because he gets all these cool Weather Whiz Kids to ask him questions, and he gets to be a smarty pants, which he is.
I tell you, I almost got stumped a couple times today.
Did you really?
Yeah, it has to do with aircraft flying and the earth spinning below. It's pretty intense stuff. My head started to hurt. I had to move on. Well, I got some great questions, and here's a couple of those questions asking kind of the same question in a different way from today at Cynthia Mann Elementary School.
Hi, my name's Tiana and I go to Cynthia Mann Elementary, and my weather question is, why doesn't frozen rain turn into snow?
Hello, my name is Ammon Harris. Why did it rain instead of snow on the 23rd of January?
Great, Ammon. Adding to that, why did it rain instead of snow when it was below freezing? Remember the freezing rain that we had? So both questions kind of similar. Why won't the raindrops turn back over to snow? Why instead do we get rain hitting the ground and then freezing on contact? So let's first of all talk about what's happening in the atmosphere to kind of answer those questions and pull it all together. Today in class, I drew a warm front, and we drew it just like this here, and I showed the first clouds you see are cirrus clouds. This is cold air, this wedge right here, and this is when warm air comes in. There's that warm front. When it rides in, it's lighter than the cold air, so it rides up and over the cold air. Rising air makes clouds, so the first thing you see is cirrus clouds, and that warm air lowers and lowers and lowers. As long as this entire column of air is below 32 degrees, we'll get snow falling right down to the ground. But you can see here, this warm air is getting warmer and warmer, and it causes the snow to melt into rain. Now, let me jump ahead and show you what happened last Wednesday. Okay, this was the vertical profile of the atmosphere. What did the temperature do when it went up from the ground? It went from 17 at the ground to 36. This was the key. Even this line here went to here and then moved north, or moved up, I should say, it would be warmer air that was coming in, but it wasn't warmer than freezing. And that was the key. It very seldom happens in the Treasure Valley. Once that snowflake fell through the air that was 36 degrees, the snowflake melts. Once it melts, it won't be a snowflake again until it gets recycled through the atmosphere, because when it gets colder, it will refreeze into an ice pellet or freezing rain. It can't go back to a snowflake because a snowflake comes from crystals coming together. So this was the key. You have to get a little layer of warm air to cause the snow to melt. So that's what happens here. This is freezing rain. This is sleet. Here's freezing rain over here. Sleet is when you have a very thin layer of warm air. Snow is falling. It then melts. And then it goes back into now a raindrop, and it goes into a deep layer of cold air, and it refreezes into an ice pellet and bounces off the ground. Freezing rain is when we have a big layer of warm air, snow falls down, it melts to a raindrop, goes back below freezing, but it doesn't have time, and it freezes on contact. So there's your difference between freezing rain and rain. And last week got just warm enough to cause us that snow to melt, and it doesn't go back to a snowflake.
And tonight I've learned I like sleet better.
Yeah, freezing rain is much more treacherous on the roads, because sleet, you get some traction, a little friction there.
Excellent. Thanks, Professor.
Thanks, Scott.